If you're pouring your heart into your podcast, but still struggling to turn those listeners into paying clients, I've got something just for you. Imagine having a clear, simple plan to turn your listeners into buyers without relying on a huge audience or spending hours on social media. That's exactly what we'll create together in a podcast profit plan discovery call. During this free 20-minute call, I'll help you discover more opportunities for profit in your podcast and give you the next best step to turn your show into a client attracting machine. If I've got an offer that will help you expedite this process, then we can also discuss working together. Book your free podcast profit plan discovery call now by going to podcastingformoms.co/profit plan or by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to chat with you. Ever feel like you need a studio, a sound engineer, and a spare $1,000 just to launch your podcast? Spoiler alert, you don't. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the exact tech stack I recommend for podcasters, especially moms, that gets the job done without draining your bank account. If you've been stuck in research mode, wondering what mic to buy or which software won't make you want to throw your laptop across the room, this episode is your shortcut. Let's simplify your setup and get you podcasting with confidence on a budget. Welcome to Podcasting for Moms, the show for moms in business ready to start, grow, and scale a podcast that turns their listeners into buyers. I'm Jenny Sonnison, a podcast strategist and fellow mom entrepreneur. You're in the right place if you want to learn how to start and grow a podcast that attracts your ideal clients and really does the heavy lifting for you when it comes to selling your offers, all while balancing life as a busy mom. Are you ready to create a podcast that grows your income, impact, and influence? Let's make podcasting work for you, because as moms, we know how to get things done. All right, let's jump into the episode. Hey, and welcome back to Podcasting for Moms, the go-to show for busy moms who want to launch, grow, and monetize their podcast in part-time hours. I'm your host, Jenny Sonnison, podcast strategist, mom of two, and your biggest cheerleader in the podcasting industry. If you've been wondering, do I need to drop hundreds or even thousands of dollars on podcast gear and tools just to sound professional? The short answer is absolutely not. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain and sharing my favorite low-cost, high-impact tech stack for podcasters. These are tools I've used myself and recommend to clients who want to podcast smarter, not harder, without blowing their budget. Let's jump in. So first up, let's start with the essentials: your mic, headphones, and recording setup. So microphone. You don't need a $400 microphone to sound professional. Here's what I recommend. The Samson Q2U. It's going to run you anywhere between $60 to $75. It's a dynamic mic, which means less background noise and connects via USB or XLR, so it grows with you. The runner-up here is a ATR 2100X. It's similar in quality and price, also a solid pick, but I have the Samson Q2U and I love it, so that is what I personally recommend. So you may be wondering, why a dynamic mic over a condenser mic? So if you've seen those Blue Yetis, those are condenser mics. But what I'm recommending is a dynamic mic. And the reason for that is because if you're podcasting at home with kids, pets, or a not so soundproof setup, which most people have, dynamic mics are your best friend. They focus on your voice and they block out all the background noise. So that is why I recommend the Samson Q2U over something like the Blue Yeti. Next up, we have headphones. So you really don't need anything fancy here. A basic pair of over-ear headphones works really well. I personally use my Apple AirPod Maxes, but honestly, even standard wired earbuds are okay to start. The key is to avoid echo from your speakers during the recording. Next up, we have recording software. So I'm going to share both free and paid options. So whether you're doing solo or interviews, obviously you're going to need a reliable way to record. So here's my options for you. So for solo or remote interviews, you can use the following. First up, we have Riverside. This platform has great quality, especially for video podcasters. They have a free plan, but the paid tiers that they have start at $15 a month, which is pretty reasonable. The next option is Zencastr. So it is browser-based, easy to use, and they do have a free plan as well, but they also have paid plans. And lastly, we have Squadcast. They are now integrated with Descript. So if you already have Descript and use it, Squadcast is now built in, which is really nice. I'm a big fan, and I think it's really amazing for consistent audio and video quality, so highly recommend checking that out if you already have Descript. And then if you have an audio-only podcast that you want to record solo episodes for, you can use GarageBand, which is a Mac application, or you can use Audacity, which works on both Mac and PC. These are both free tools and they work well for basic recording and editing for solo audio-only podcasts. If you're doing interviews on Zoom, you can use it to start, but I do recommend moving to a podcast-specific platform when you can because Zoom compresses audio and just doesn't sound as crisp. Next up, we have editing tools. So if you want a clean sounding episode without hiring an editor, my top pick is going to be Descript. This tool, in my opinion, is absolutely magic. You edit the audio by editing the text, kind of like a Google Doc, which is really cool and makes it a lot more user-friendly if you're not a skilled audio editor. It's great for moms who just aren't super tech savvy. Plans currently start at $24 a month, so it's really reasonable, especially if you're using both Descript and the Squadcast recording built in for guest opportunities. Highly recommend. And if you want something free, once again, Audacity is great. It has a little bit of a learning curve, but it is really powerful. And then we have GarageBand, it works well for basic cuts and fades and things like that. But just keep in mind that both of these tools are audio-only editing tools. So if you're planning to record video, you're going to have to find another tool to do the video editing portion. So just keep that in mind. And if editing isn't your thing, outsource it. Time is money. So if we're doing things that we're not that great at and we don't enjoy, get it off your plate if you can. Next up, we have hosting platforms. So your host is where your podcast lives and how it gets pushed out to platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Here are my top recs for that. First up, and my personal favorite, is Buzzsprout. It is really easy to use, it's beginner friendly, and offers really great stats. Plans start at $12 a month, so it's pretty affordable as well. Then we have Captivate. So they have some extra built-in marketing tools and things like that. It's $19 a month to start, so it's relatively affordable as well. And they do have some private podcasting options, which is interesting. And then we have Libsyn, which is a tool I used to use in the past before I switched to Buzzsprout. They are a longtime industry leader, though I feel like the interface isn't as modern, but it definitely works and gets the job done as well. So most of my clients currently use Buzzsprout or Captivate, and both offer easy one-click distribution, so I'm a big fan of that. Here are some extras that are totally optional but nice to have. So first up, in the graphic design category, we have Canva Pro. It is currently $15 a month, and it's worth it if you're creating custom episode graphics, audiograms, social templates. And you can also use it in other areas of your business as well, not just for the podcast. But the free version is really great too, so I love Canva, highly recommend it. Then we have scheduling. So if you're bringing guests onto your show and you need to coordinate times, you can use something like Calendly. They do have a free plan available, but it just works really well for booking guests. What I personally use for booking guests or just booking appointments in general is TidyCal. It is a super affordable alternative. It's only $29 lifetime fee on AppSumo. As we're recording this, it is at least. So I don't know if that's going to be, going on in the future, but that's the deal I got, and that's the deal that's still ongoing as I'm recording this. This is what I use and love. It's a really great tool, and like I said, it's only the $29 one-time fee, so I don't have to pay for it on a monthly basis, which I am a big fan of. Then we have transcription tools. So Otter AI is a really great tool. It has free and paid options for transcripts and notes and things like that. But if you use Descript, then Descript also includes transcription, so I would recommend that over Otter if you're using Descript. Next up, we have repurposing tools. So my personal fave for pulling those juicy clips from the podcast, from the video from the podcast, is Opus Clips. That is what I use for myself and my clients, and it works like a charm. But there's also something called repurpose.io. If you want to automate turning episodes into social posts and video clips, you can use that as well. So I just want you to know you don't need everything right away. I want you to start lean, because you can absolutely grow and upgrade your tech stack as your podcast and budget grows. If I had to narrow it down to a starter tech stack for under $150, it would be as follows: the Samsung Q2U mic, which is about $70, basic headphones, which is, depends. You probably already have some, so I would say $0 here. Audacity or GarageBand is free. Remember, only for audio, only a podcast, so you would need to find a different tool if you are planning on doing video. And then Buzzsprout hosting, $12 a month, Canva free plan, $0 a month, and Calendly free, $0 a month. That's really all you need to get your voice out there with clarity and confidence. So I hope this helped you see that podcasting doesn't have to be super expensive or overwhelming. With the right tools and a simple setup, you can sound like a total pro, even if you're recording during nap time in your closet. If you love this episode, I'd be so grateful if you left a quick rating and review. And don't forget to share this with a fellow mom who's thinking of launching her podcast soon. If you need help picking the right tools for your podcast goals, make sure to head over to podcastingformoms.co/tools. I've got a full kind of list for you to check out based on the tools I love and recommend. But yeah, until next time, keep showing up, keep sharing your voice, and keep making magic happen in the margins of motherhood. I'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning into Podcasting for Moms. I hope today's episode gave you the tools and inspiration you need to make your podcast work smarter, not harder. If you love what you heard, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. It means the world and helps other moms in business find the show. For more tips, resources, and support, head to podcastingformoms.co. Remember, you're not just building a podcast, you're building your legacy. Until next time, friends.